Hello, Covictory gardeners. Before we start planting our gardens in 2 weeks on the Victoria Day long weekend, I think it's important that we do a land acknowledgement. Now, a land acknowledgement is much more than just reading words off a page. A land acknowledgement involves us being active members of treaty, and treaty involves us in relationships, historic relationships that go back centuries and come with responsibilities and an honor that's incumbent upon us to practice. And it falls to us to learn what those responsibilities are and how we can carry them out honorably. The land in which we're cultivating is in the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, but also in lands used by the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat Nation, and the Neutral Nation. In fact, there isn't a building or place in this region that didn't disturb Indigenous places. This land has been inhabited by Indigenous people for millennia. And so that comes with a deep responsibility for us to learn that history, to learn the truths that happened between the people who settled here from away, and the relationships that they had with the people that are here, that were here and are here to this day. Oftentimes, you know, when in video land acknowledgements, you'll see these sweeping vistas of forests and mountains and things like that. But it's equally important to know that here in suburbia, this is treaty land as well. These are treaty territories. So what can you do? Well, there's a number of things that you can do. Learn about your treaty partners. Go to the website of the Mississaugas of the Credit. Go to the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, Six Nations of the Grand River. Learn about these people. Go to their communities, attend powwows when we're able to. They're wonderful communities and wonderful people. Reach out to them on Twitter. Chief Stacy Labrum of the Mississaugas of the Credit is on Twitter. The Mississaugas of the Credit are also on Twitter. Six Nations is as well. And read. And one book that I think everyone should read is Braiding Sweetgrass, and I'm really indebted to my friend Clara Fraser for passing this book on to me, because it talks about the intersections between biology and Indigenous teachings and the land, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful book, and I highly encourage you to read it as you're planting your garden. It will teach you a lot. I also wanted to read a poem by Chief Stacy Labrum. He's a poet. You may have read about him in the Hamilton Spectator or seen him on TV, and he's a published poet, and I wanted to read to you one of his poems called Sacred Trust, and I think it's a really good poem to keep in our minds as we prepare to plant our gardens. Sacred Trust. We are the keepers of this land. She shelters and sustains us, long after the flesh fails the spirit. We will care for these lands. Our drums will be heard upon the winds, our voices in the rustle of the leaves. My people have a sacred trust with this land, a trust no man may break, a trust that death cannot suffer. We were here when you first stepped foot upon this land, and here we will remain long after the last step has disturbed her soil. I hope you're well, fellow Covictory gardeners. Learn about your treaty obligations. Honor the land that we are now in relationship with, and I look forward to learning along with you. Take care.